Hey everybody, Anish Majumdar here, career coach to the fiercely ambitious. Back at you today with a video that I've been getting a lot of requests for, and that is, Anish, what are some ways that I can make my resume pandemic proof, right? The situation has changed, the tenor, right? What employers are looking for, how risk averse they are, right? What they are looking for in terms of what's necessary to do and what's unnecessary. All of that has changed, right? And your resume does need to play to that, right? So I want to share with you some examples of things that have been working one-on-one. This is all based on client by client, and I exclusively work with high performers, people who are in the midst of a transition looking to do this. So I'm about to share with you some tips that are working on a day-by-day basis right now, okay? Just two quick caveats though, okay? Number one, the strategy matters more than the resume, right? If you're still stuck on this outdated idea that I have a magical resume and then all the doors are going to open up, you're already like 8 steps behind where the ball is right now, right? How you're building these relationships, who you're building these relationships with, right? How you're moving these things to an offer, right? And how you're negotiating these offers. All of these things matter at least as much, if not more than just the resume. So just realize going into this that the resume operates as part of a universe, and that universe needs to be as strong as it can. Right? You can't just be answering job postings 40 hours a week, and I appreciate the effort, and saying somehow it's going to get done. That approach is dead right now, okay? Because no one wants that, right? So really think about that as a caveat. And number two, remember, and I hope this gives hope to each and every one of you that is currently in the midst of a job search, currently trying to better their life situation in the midst of all of this craziness, right? And feeling like nothing's perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You can take losses in every battle and still win this war. Right? Your resume can be less than perfect. Your LinkedIn profile can be less than perfect. Your interview face-to-face strategy can be less than perfect. Your offer negotiation side of things can be less than perfect, and you can still get an outcome that thrills you, that completely makes you feel excited when you wake up, not dreading it, and then that allows you to serve as yet another example of someone who succeeded in the right way, So just remember those two things, okay? Strategy matters more than just the individual resume, and that you can take losses in every battle and still win this war. Okay, so on to the tips, all right? Number one, and I would say the most important, solve today's pain right at the start of the resume. Right? People aren't looking for optional right now. And so one of the big mistakes I see is I see people's resumes describing their high level responsibilities. Well, guess what? If I'm a business owner, and you should be thinking in your resume like the partner to the business, not a candidate, right? You're already in that leadership circle, right? How do you frame yourself, right? That first third of the resume is absolutely key to get right. And it should all be about the unique impact that you have and the unique way that only you can do it. Maybe 3 to 5 ideas there expressed at the high level. Let me give you an example, okay? So if I'm like an IT director, right, I shouldn't be listing software technology and training and blah, 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 and how many years of experience I have there at the top. What I should be talking about is here's how companies that are stressed and in turmoil right now can sustainably course correct and grow through using technology as the main arm. And how I do it is I activate this side of things, bring analytics into it. Now we're in a unique way. That should be the key idea that is expressed at the top, right? High level impact and the unique way that only you can do it. Think like a business partner, not a candidate. Because in this environment, we are not looking to hire just another person. Like if I think about this way. I'm a project manager, okay? I could either frame myself in the resume as, I'm a well-experienced project manager with X years of experience and blah, 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 blah. Or I could say I work hand in hand with business leaders to help them identify and diagnose the hidden roadblocks in their operations and do it through a customized, proprietary even, hyper project management, hyper talent engagement, analytics or whatever piece. Same person. But the second person gets to talk with business leaders. The second person gets to talk as an equal. The second person gets to not just suss out emergent pain before it makes it to a job posting, but actually create. Because that person, if they ask the right questions in dialogue, right, they can actually get you clear on something that you weren't and give you the urgency to say, yeah, I've got to do something about it. Totally different thing. That should be the first third of your resume, okay? Solve today's pain right at the start. Number two, especially within the experience section of the resume, I see this mistake all the time. People, you're placing equal emphasis on every detail within your work history, right? And that's a big, big, big no-no. Unless you could say I had 8 roles and no one can, 8 roles and they were all equally important, you should be spending the lion's share, 80% of the experience section of your resume, plus, I would say, right? But at minimum, 80% should be entirely focused on the most relevant roles that relate to where you want to go, right? If my target is Chief Marketing Officer right now, the big ones are the VP of Marketing one, that high-level brand engagement one, that high-level one. I'm not highlighting things that are outside of the wheelhouse that I don't want to emphasize. It might be nice that I had a logistics role 15 years ago, but that should deserve, if anything, a one-liner mentioned in the resume, right? This is not a journalistic exercise, right? You've got to skew everything towards supporting your argument, your vision, your way, right? You're not a impartial person evaluating, okay? This is a marketing document. That's what it is fundamentally. And you've got to look at it that way, make your case, right? And really play to that which is important. The 80-20 rule is a great way to think about that, right? When I look at my resume at a glance, is at least 80% of this directly relevant to what I lay out in that first third? If it's not, you know exactly what you should be looking at right now, right? Number 3, stand in contrast to the posers, okay? People ask me all the time, Anish, I spent 30, 40, 50 hours, I spent thousands of dollars on a resume writer instead of, working with a career expert, shameless plug alert, but, you could have instead worked with someone who would actually teach you how to actually generate these opportunities, right? Instead of looking at this one little carrot here, right? And in the process, we'll take care of that part too. We'll take care of the brand and all that too, but solve it forever, right? Well, people will say, I've been trying and trying and trying, but at the end of the day, I end up with this generic looking document. It's just like, it reads the same as anybody else. I'm in data. There's 100 other people in New York City who have similar credentials. I don't stand out. Well, one big way that you can stand out is, in that first third of the resume, in the major roles that you have had that you are strategically highlighting, right? Within that resume, highlight the opposite, right? Avoided trend chasing in favor of, broke through long-standing silos to deliver A, right? Reshifted organizational and strategic priorities to emphasize and capture X, right? I'm pointing out the fact that there's an alternate thing here. There's an alternate universe, right? And if I'm not helping you in the way that only I can, and that way has been directly supported by this journey, right? Then other people will, and these people are frauds. These people don't know what the hell they're doing, right? And you should always have that awareness. There's the good side, there's the light side, and there's the dark side, right? And the dark side and illuminating that, wherever you have an opportunity in the resume, is one of the best ways to add massive value to your perceived worth and to differentiate yourself, right? Finally, the golden rule when it comes to resumes: show, don't tell. Don't tell me what you can do. Show me through your results. Don't tell me about responsibilities. Show me what the key priorities were and what the results were. What can you emphasize? What metrics can you emphasize? What cultural benefits can you emphasize? What process benefits can you emphasize? Show me, don't tell me. Same thing for the face-to-face. This is a little bonus tip here. When you're in that face-to-face room, you should never be talking about, I can do this and I can do that. Share a story that illuminates that. Ask a question that demonstrates your expertise, okay? But these are all ways that you can start to make your resume, and by extension, your brand, pandemic proof, okay? Rewatch this video. Ingest these concepts on a deeper level. Now start applying it immediately to your resume, and by extension, apply this way of thinking to your LinkedIn profile, to everything that you're putting out there. And again, if you need direct help with figuring out the strategy piece of this and putting all of these pieces together into a whole that will get the job done in weeks, if not days, in terms of the offers that you have in front of you, head on over to helloanish.com. You're going to find a treasure trove of career tips, videos just like this that'll help you. And you're going to have a link to watch my How to Land Your Dream Job During Disruptive Times webinar that will put the pieces together. Okay, helloanish.com is where you need to go.